Now, what do you do usually first? Do you come up with the points first, then find the thesis? Or do you have a thesis first? Oh my god, yeah, smoking is bad. And then you go to find the points. Which one do you do? Thesis first or thesis last?
Thesis first.
Thesis first? Thesis first? Okay. Now, what we're gonna do today is, I know a lot of you live at homestay. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, homestay. Who lives at homestay? Do you like it?
No.
How come there are only,
No.
out of 20 people, only 4? Okay. Now, so homestay, I know a lot of you had experience at homestay already, right? So, because today we're doing descriptive writing, we're gonna do brainstorming right now about what makes a good homestay. What makes a good homestay? Cool? I'm gonna walk around with a piece of paper. You're gonna write down just your idea of what makes a good homestay. Just your ideas. Just your ideas. Just write down maybe a quiet environment, maybe close area to the school. Write down your ideas, please. Cool so far? Just write down your idea. One idea per paper. One idea per
It's
paper.
not a sentence, just
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
Sentence.
Because you're brainstorming right now, right? Thank you. So can I, if you need more paper, I have more, but can I give you about 2 minutes to write down 1 point, please?
1 point?
Yes. Your job, once you're done, we're gonna go around the room. You're simply sharing with the class what you came up with. Okay? So maybe, I know a lot of people wrote delicious meals. Anybody? Yeah. So just show people the paper and say delicious meals, and I will collect it from you. If we need more explanation from you, we will ask you to explain more. But it should be pretty self-explanatory.
I already explained, that's okay.
Alright, so then but explain to us, okay? Verbally. Who wants to go first? What makes a good homestay? That's the question. What makes a good homestay? Abdul, go first, please.
I think they should learn how to cook different types of food. For example, they must learn how to cook Arabic, Korean and Japanese food.
Okay.
They know many people came from that region to learn English.
Okay, so
This is very important.
you would like variety in the
Yeah.
food served.
Yeah.
Okay? The variety in the food served because
Not exactly variety. I think.
cultural foods, are you
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Okay. So that's the first idea. I'm gonna put cultural variety.
Second idea.
Abdul, pick someone else, please.
Faisal.
Actually, if they live in a good area, like safe area and quiet, and also when they live close to malls or shops or something like that.
Okay, can you just pick one? You have so many ideas. Pick one.
I'll just call it good area.
Okay.
Good area.
Okay. So that's the second idea. I'm gonna tape it on the wall. Now, this is the process you will be doing at home, correct? You have a topic, you're thinking. Now, next. Faisal, pick someone else, please. Anything else? So, first step, you are brainstorming. Maybe, if this isn't this, maybe the question is, well, what is the impact of the recession? You may have to do research, correct? So, the first step here, I'm gonna move the paper, is to brainstorm all the ideas. Cool so far? Your job right now, look on the board, please. Your job right now, look at all the different ideas you have. Your job now is to group them together if they connect. Group them together. Let me give you an example. I think for a lot of people, how the homestay parents treat you is important, right? Some people want care, some people want trust, some people want to be treated as an adult. So, can you try to group some of the ideas together into one category, please, if they're the same? For example, right? Everybody wants about treatment. Isn't this very similar to this? Very similar to this? Very similar to respect? This, right? Can you group them together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do the first one, and maybe I'll give you about 2 minutes to try to group maybe 2 more. Cool? Right?
Yeah.
So we'll put it together there. Pets is part of the environment.
Yeah.
Comfort, we don't have to do that. This one, speaking English, maybe we don't do it. Now guys, you know what you just did? You have come up with your essay.
All the ideas.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Isn't that true? Look, the question is, what makes a good homestay? First, you brainstorm ideas. Second, you group the ideas together. Third, your thesis will naturally emerge. The thesis is, a good homestay includes is about the number one, the relationship between the homestay parents and us. Number two, it's about the food served. And number three, it's about the environment the homestay provides. Any questions so far? Imagine if you have a thesis already. You have a thesis already in your mind. Thesis already. It's like, let me try to find something. It's like this is your thesis, correct? You want to find ideas that fit into this thesis. So you're going to go around. Imagine this is your brain and you're thinking. This room is your brain and you want to fit the idea into your thesis. You're going to see, ooh, can I borrow this? This idea is good. Let me fit it in. Ooh, it fits. Good. Maybe this, you have a good idea, but it's too big for your thesis. You're going to twist it a little bit so you can fit it in. Eraser, ooh, good. Fits. This fits. Doesn't fit. This fits the thesis. I'm going to put it in. If you have a thesis already, you're going to try to change your ideas to fit the thesis. If you're a thesis already, even if there's a great idea, meaning, look at him. Tariq is a great man. He's a great idea, right? But he's too big for the thesis. Oh, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it because it doesn't fit my thesis. When you have a thesis first, you are changing the ideas that could come into you. Right? Whether it's by, oh, I need to fit it, I need to change it a little bit. Ooh, too big, I don't like it. Guess what? That's, you do the thinking first. You look at the brain in your mind, you brainstorm first. Ooh, look, he's big. Ooh, he's kind of big, he's kind of big. Oh, we have a table here. Guess what? We need a thesis that's like a box. We cannot have a thesis like this. So you may have to go out and get a box so you can fit all the good ideas in. That's the advantage of doing this where the thesis is last, because your ideas will become stronger and that your thesis will emerge naturally. Naturally. You don't have to fight it because once you brainstorm, you put it into categories. Once you are into categories, now some ideas will be useless. Right? You have brainstormed great ideas. Some ideas are going to be useless, but whatever is left, it naturally forms one body paragraph, two body paragraphs, and the third body paragraph. What?
No, from three, at least three.
At least three? Anybody else?
Conclusion,
just
introduction,
one.
body, and conclusion.
Now, let me tell you something. Marina or I or other teachers may have taught you a formula. Because in the beginning when you're learning, you learn the formula. Because maybe you don't understand how everything works. But once you learn the formula, you're comfortable with the formula, please feel free to change it and fit it and make it your own. So that if a teacher tells you 3 body paragraphs, you don't have to do 3 body paragraphs. Let me tell you something. You write as many paragraphs as you need to support the thesis. Right? So I actually built like this. Today Kathleen, I was doing this during the break this morning, Kathleen's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm building a house. She's like, really? You are a construction worker? I'm like, no, I'm building a roof here. So I'm going to put this on top. Really, because you are building a house. Everything, everybody should know, right? Everything in your paper supports the thesis. Everything in your paper demonstrates the thesis, if it needs to be demonstrated. Everything in your paper proves the thesis. If your thesis is huge, huge. For example, who's the past president of Brazil?
Lula.
Lula?
Lula.
Lula? Now, if your thesis, you want to prove, Lula is the greatest president ever in Brazil. ever, the greatest. That is a huge thesis, huge. Because you now have to compare him against all the other presidents and say why he is the greatest, right? So that means your thesis is like this. Huge. That means you need a lot of body paragraphs to support that thesis. Because you not only have to talk about his accomplishments, but you have to compare him to other people because your thesis is huge. He's the greatest ever. If your thesis is smaller and saying he is he is a great president, then maybe you only need 3 to talk about his greatest accomplishments. Right? So an essay has as many paragraphs as needed to prove your thesis. If your thesis is simple, you may need only 1. If your thesis is complicated, you may need more than 5, 6, 7, 8. When you go to university, you might read essays that are 20 pages, and they may have 20 body paragraphs. It doesn't matter because everything goes back to the thesis. That's why the thesis is so important. That's why a professor told me he rewrites his thesis 15 times because everything is about the thesis. Now, how many sentences should be in a paragraph? Have you heard that before?
4 or 5.
What about, Ahmed, remember yesterday you asked me how many, or Monday, because I wasn't here yesterday. Monday you asked me for the descriptive paragraph how many sentences I should have. And what did I say to you? I never said as long as you can.
No.
As much as needed to prove that main point of the paragraph. Remember? And then you asked me today, how long should the essay be? It doesn't matter. As long as it proves your thesis. If you have a completely complicated essay, good luck, because you're going to need to write a lot. Because I will look at it and see, is the thesis proven? If it's not a good essay. Turn the page, please. Now, everything is like an onion. Really, an essay is like an onion. You have the central thesis, you have to keep on peeling because you want to get to the details, right?
Yeah.
Look on the board, please. Everything here, each idea is a supporting detail. So detail, right? You need evidence. Supporting details, supporting details, supporting details, supporting details, supporting detail. Together, they support the point that treatment is important. Detail, 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 point, food is important. Detail, 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 detail. The point is the environment is important. Point 1, point 2, point 3, together then support the thesis. So it's like there's like a layers of support, right? These support the first point. These support the second, these support the third. The 3 points then support the thesis. It's really like a layer. Boom, boom, boom. And this is what I wanted to show you with this flow chart. It begins with the central thesis. It goes to different categories of support. Here, different categories of support. Then, each category of support has different details to support it. Yeah?
No, I'm asking about my watch. You stole it from me.
Any questions, guys? So make sure your essay is like this. And now a lot of teachers will say, well, please be specific. Please develop your points. That means you may have a good category of support, but you didn't have a lot of evidence. You didn't talk a lot about details. So if you actually follow this, the structure of your essay should be flawless. Questions?
Oh my. This is like...
Final questions, because we're going to move on. Go ahead, please move on.
Let's go.
Cool? Yeah. Good, 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 good.